Hey everyone, just finished watching the Kings-Leafs game, so we're going to talk about that. We're also going to talk about the Atlantic Division. You see it on your screen right now. It's actually crazy right now. We talked about the Atlantic Division being one of the more competitive divisions. There's a 4-point gap right now between the struggling Toronto Maple Leafs and the first place Montreal Canadiens, or tied for first with the Ottawa Senators and Boston Bruins. There's a few things I'm just going to go over quick, just to kind of give people a reality check, because you might not be looking around the league. Montreal has now been outscored 12-1 in their last two games. They just lost 7-0 to the Dallas Stars tonight. The Ottawa Senators, they've been up and down, inconsistent goaltending. The Boston Bruins were on a 7-game win streak to get them to this point, and they lost tonight, so that win streak is over. They're still only 4 points up on the Toronto Maple Leafs. So there's so many different perspectives, but I think the sign here is to think the Leafs are so bad right now. They are struggling. Just to be blunt, they are really off. And they're still only 4 points back of first place of the Atlantic. There's so much room for improvement. The room is getting Joseph Woll back. Austin Matthews being healthy. That's a big ask because we know Austin's been up and down. You also look at Chris Tanev, massive part of this team missing. Of course, there's the rumors right now of the Leafs acquiring Rasmus Andersson or going for another piece in that defense group. But, I mean, yeah, would it have helped? For sure. Like, even on the tying goal for the Kings, just the overall dynamic of this team, yeah, for sure. Rasmus Andersson on that back end, or a guy like that in overtime, but also when the game is down to the wire, you don't want Dakota Mermis out there. I'm actually not going to rip Mermis. I thought he was fine. He was definitely way better than Phil Myers and what we've seen from him recently. So just quickly going over some stuff. Like, you know what? It's so hard to rip William Nylander. It really is. Just in terms of his offensive production. But I think the timing of it is kind of a frustration point for me, because the morning skate or the morning presser, he talks about he's not worried because they're scoring goals. Like, the conversation for Willie's got to be, yes, offense is there, production is there, but if you are so nonchalant and you are playing with a low effort in big games or big moments in games, like, I have a huge problem with that. So, like, I get the games are in November right now. Willie turns it on in the playoffs, and he's obviously putting up a lot of points on the board, well over a point per game. But even on that play in overtime, where he's got the puck on the boards, he could have wrapped it around the boards, make a safe defensive play, or just force it out for a reset. I would love for you just to keep possession there as best as you can. I get it's easier said than done, but I just thought the nonchalant vibe versus the urgent vibe from the LA Kings was the massive difference maker between Nylander and guys like Byfield in that overtime. So this is Berube ripping Nylander for the Fiala goal because he was on for a while, and he was kind of tracking Fiala and then let him go. But just some of the other stuff that I was talking about tonight. Also, rest in peace to Larry Brooks. I didn't talk about that in my earlier video. That's a massive, massive loss in the hockey world. So I definitely wanted to include that. For the Leafs, I mean, this is a guy that you could target for sure. This is actually coming from a Flames account, I believe. Rasmus Andersson has been not himself in the last year, calendar year. So I think that's a conversation. If the Leafs were to trade for him, it can't be a first for a rental, and it can't be Cowan or Danford. It just can't. So if Flames fans are expecting that, I think it's unrealistic. But talking about John Tavares, this is a guy that you just have to praise and have to talk highly about, because, I mean, there's other storylines you can talk about this game. Like, if Dennis Hildeby doesn't make some big saves, the Leafs lose in regulation. You could also talk about some of the middle six forwards for the Toronto Maple Leafs playing a bit better. Like, I saw a bit more from Michelli, saw a bit more from Nick Waugh. So there was different moments from some of those players, but I just thought John Tavares, what he did tonight is just another proof in the pudding of, like, so many people misplacing blame. Like, talking about when Tavares signed here, that's where the Leafs went downhill, all these things. I look at Tavares, I mean, this one's a big one, right? Like, the fact that he scored so many goals since last year, he's at a 50-goal pace right now. This guy is in the kind of, like, when you're talking about the mid-30s and talking about a guy that took less than $4.5 million, he was so disregarded a couple years ago and saying he was going to fall off and be washed and all these comments. And I just think about John Tavares right now at the hometown discount. He makes less than Cody Ceci, guys. That is embarrassing. Like, for a lot of guys around the league. I would just say, maybe embarrassing is the wrong word, but John Tavares took a massive hometown discount after already taking one in open free agency when he signed first in Toronto. But I just got to give so much respect to Tavares in around the net, constant effort. Even at his age, he's putting in way more effort than a lot of the guys on his team right now. So you got to give Tavares his flowers. So yeah, let me know what you guys think. I mean, here's the thing. No Matthews, no Tanev. I already said it. Wool coming back. The fact that the Leafs are only 4 points back of that first spot in the Atlantic, there's so much season left. I think I'm actually coming out of this game with the positive signs that they're so bad right now, that the fact that they're so close in the Atlantic race at this point, like, it can only get better. And the fact that you do get the point out of tonight's game, I really think it's going to be, hey, where are the Leafs at by U.S. Thanksgiving? That's going to be like a major mark for me and a major statement that I end up making. So you've got 2 weeks here to really turn things around. It's a point in the right direction. And then we'll see what they can do over the weekend and into next week. So let me know what you guys think. Hit that subscribe button, hit that like, hit the notification bell. Another shit I'll give is Nick Robertson. I like the effort. Again, that's a guy that maybe you sell high on because he's put some point production. And I also want to give a shout to Bobby McMahon because an effort on a few of those shifts, and then obviously the goal. I'd want to see a full 60 minutes from him because I feel like later on in the game you don't notice him much. But again, I'm nitpicking at that point because there's been so much wrong with this team. So comment, subscribe, like, notification bell. Peace.